Absolutely not. In fact, you all can try to answer these questions. Stand by. The program will begin soon. A WNBA game got stopped in the middle of the game because one of the players lost their wig while they're playing, and they had to run off. And then some fan made fun of the player, and they had to run. And they kicked the fan out for making fun of a player losing the weave. Not the weave, it was a wig. Losing their wig. They had to have a timeout for the wig, a wig emergency. Which I'm like, why the F are you wearing a wig while you're playing basketball? But then yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, a game had to be stopped briefly because someone threw a big old green dildo on the floor. Someone threw a dildo out on the floor, out of the court. They had to stop the game. I don't know if they caught the person who sent the dildo, but the green dildo was on the court, and a good large number of the players had no idea what to do with something of that shape, but that's okay. It happened, and then someone made this t-shirt or this meme, pay us what you owe us, which has a dildo on it. So that was... Hey, you know what the really good interrupt violence through community-based bystander training? Yeah, if the bystanders beat the fuck out of someone who's attacking somebody else, that would be great bystander training. They can send them to the MMA gym, you know, put them in an arm bar, smack them in the face a few times. Stop doing that bullshit. That would be the best community-based bystander training, but I don't think that's what it is. Anyway. And then the other one, they'll go back all the way to Dylan Roof. Dylan Roof's the other one, which, does anyone, okay, let me ask you something. A lot of you are right-leaning or on the right. Is there anybody in this, that you, anyone you know of? Is there anyone that you know of on the right who supports or supported Dylan Roof? Because I know everyone I can think of who's like, Dylan Roof, fuck that guy. He went out and murdered people in a church. Fuck that guy. But the left is like, oh, he was a right-wing extremist. Nah, he's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck Dylan Roof. Nobody gives a shit about Dylan Roof. Nobody claims him. Nobody wants him. He's an asshole. Okay? He's a little punk bitch asshole who killed a bunch of people in a church. Stand by. The program will begin soon. Reverend Robin Bartlett of First Church of Sterling, Massachusetts, uses John 1:14 in the Bible to justify why she brings her 11-year-old son to drag shows. This is what we're getting in the Rainbow Church. The Rainbow Church aren't exactly hiding. That's true. The Word became flesh and lived among us, and my body, your body, their bodies are home for the living God. That is why I take my 11-year-old boy to drag shows in the summer with my friend and fellow church leaders, Kate, and her 11-year-old boy. Especially if you're a man, bodies can be celebrated and played with. That's her message. What the fuck? California wants to let someone that is not related to your child remove her from school, him or her, enroll her in any other school in the state, authorize any medical treatment, including mental health services and drugs, without the parent's notice and knowledge or consent. Can you see that that might be a problem? This is not fear-mongering. I'm not being hyperbolic, she warned. These are unintended consequences, and it is terrifying. They are unconscionable, unavoidable. So that's one of the really bad California law that they're coming with. I can't believe it. I'm just dumbfounded that they're doing it. this is interesting. That new mayor candidate, the leading Democratic mayor candidate for New York City mayor, Damme, wants cops to stop responding to attacks on Jews. And by the way, Jews in the New York City are victims of the majority of hate crimes. Not a plurality, but the majority of hate crimes against people in New York are against Jewish people. And especially religious hate crimes. Anyway, 345 hate crimes in New York City last year, more than all other minority groups combined, according to New York Police Department data. And Jewish crimes accounted for 54% of the 641 total hate crimes reported to police in the city in 2024. Since the beginning of the year, 60% of the 123 reported hate crimes have targeted Jews, according to the New York Police Department. Well, Zohran Mamdani, the radical Islamist and leftist terrorist supporter, has proposed that the New York Police Department not respond to hate crimes, instead that they be handled by social workers. Either this shifts resources away from responding to attacks on Jews and moves away from having law enforcement deal with those attacks, and instead has his political leftist allies deal with them by burying them. Every day on my show, if I put something on the screen, or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to, I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only PDawgKnight.
Yeah, I know you heard that. At least you should have, but I didn't mean for you to. Anyway, how y'all doing? It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's going to be goofy in here today. How you doing? Happy Friday on the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where we talk about news and things going on in the world and occasionally just some goofy stuff. And that's what Fridays are for. That's what Fridays are for. Keep asking those questions. I'll be here to answer them all. That's what Friday's for. Hey, it's Friday, and it's the 21st of November, 2025. Let's go quickly because I want to get a lot of questions in. Also, but I got a lot of news item up. There's just a lot of news stuff that I'm not going to get too deep into, I hope. But sometimes I rattle on and on. Share the stream if you haven't already. I'd appreciate that. I think I did share it on Locals and on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. And many of you have done that too. But first, let's say hi to everybody, because I just want to make sure that, I am acknowledging those who make the show a little bit brighter every day, and especially those who work hard to get here first. And many of you are trying, but there's only one winner today, and that is because we don't have participation trophies in this motherfucker. Anyway, it is Avocados Diablo who gets the bell. Yes, baby. And there you go. Also, good morning to Special Can Acid on my list of favorite Canadians. Kay Schultz in the house. AKA, hi, Kirsten. Mike Savage, Blarg, Ms. Wild Wolf, and Scala 08, aka Midnight. Midnight's in the house. What up, my young friend? Blue Eyed Scream is here. Attack Alpaca. Is that it? Oh, and the Pope. Pope Tyrannies III, the Blessed Lich. with his daily message of hope from not the Father, not the Son, but from the Holy Ghost, as opposed to Space Ghost. Anyway, the Pope says, blessings of the Holy Ghost. Today was made just for you. Our heavenly protector has filled it with good things and happiness. Just get out of bed and find them. Oh, what a great message. Seriously, like, you know, a lot of people ask me, well, how do you have time to go on all these vacations? Well, I don't go on vacations. We just drive somewhere when we have time. If we have 3 hours, we say, let's go do something besides sit here and watch TV, or, you know, do dishes, because, you know, dishes can always wait. Dishes are made to be done when it's dark, you know. When there's light out, we just go see stuff. And I think everyone should do that, or just go appreciate the world around you. Sometimes you just need to do that, especially if you're down. If you're down about something, go find something beautiful to look at. And it's amazing how that will raise your spirits. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, thank you, Pope Tyre. Also, that's everybody. It's a light crew so far today. Oh, wait. No, that was Attack a Packet. I saw you. So anyway, where is the stream? There it is. We only have 9 people here. Wow, that's weird. Well, eventually, am I right? Yeah, I am. Okay, I had to go look to make sure I started the stream. I did. It's just it takes some people for a while to get in here. So let's do this. Let's shorten that up a little bit. Move this over so I can gotta get ready for Q&A. Ooh. Avocado Diablo's on a roll already. Holy shit. You must think really hard about these, AD. Okay, thanks to people sharing the stream. Now, there's more tweets sharing the stream than there are people hitting the thing. Oh, JB's in the house. What's up? Here we go. That was Wing It Wednesday. Here we go. It is Friday already, Ms. Wild Wolf, who says, wait, is it Friday already? Oh, boy. Well, AD asked our favorite host, Marty, a.k.a. PDawgKnight, by clicking the link below. That's a good question. What are you? Well, I'm looking at questions here already. He's going on town. Thank you, Ms. Wildwolf, for sharing the stream on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. Also, Tyre Alexander, Ms. Wildwolf, and Sure You Gospel share the stream that are repeated my stream, plus the Friday Free-for-All Friday gift that Ms. Wildwolf has there. Now, is that in the... Now I'm just curious. Is that in the like gift selection thing yet? Like, or did you? I know you made that yourself, right? I'm just curious if it's like if it ended up in the gift selections. Also, our daily woo from Ric Flair, aka Tyre Alexander, does that. A little Ric Flair action every day. And let's see, Mike Savage with "Let Us Go," of course, as always, and then Miss Wildwolf just posting the "Let's Go" that I put up there. So anyway, people surely but slowly trickling in. Now we're at 10. Oh, gosh. Oh, one of these days, I would just kill to have 500 people watching the show. You know what I'm saying? Well, I wouldn't kill, but you know what I'm saying. Hello, Anand. 1, 2, 3. But you know what? I'm so happy that y'all show up all the time because you make my day. All right, holidays. Let's get into the holidays real quick. Today, wait a minute. What did I do with it? Oh no! What the hell did I do with it? If you're curious about the gift today, today's featured holiday is. Wait, what happened to it? Gosh darn it. Hang on a second. Let me find it. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, today is World Vasectomy Day. Yes, I said vasectomy. It's World Vasectomy Day. Oh boy. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about that. I mean, I could say something funny, I suppose, if I were a funny person, but I'm not. It's World Vasectomy Day, and oh gosh, gotta be careful. I gotta be careful before that pops up. Okay, so now what's interesting about that is the first thing that pops up on World Vasectomy Day on this app formerly known as Twitter. Yes, World Stim Day. Vasectomy Day most commonly refers to World Vasectomy Day, an annual event that occurs on the third Friday of November to raise awareness of male contraceptive and family planning. And then they put pictures of this young lady. I am curious. Or is it several young ladies? I guess is that more than one person? It looks like the same person in a couple of them, but then it's a different person here, and her laying back with the the little push-up rock thing going. Hip hip hooray, happy Vasectomy Day. I'm not worried about it. We're not gonna have any more kids anyway. But anyway, I was just curious why that was the that was the feature on World Vasectomy Day. Like, wouldn't that prompt some people to be like, no, anti-vasectomy day? I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, World Vasectomy Day advocates for vasectomy as a safe choice for men and promotes the training of doctors who can conduct the procedure. Vasectomies are a permanent contraceptive procedure done on a male's sexual organ to limit the transfer of sperm during intercourse. Now, permanent? No, it's not permanent. They can be reversed, but it's really challenging to reverse a vasectomy. Unlike if a woman gets their tubes tied, whatever, that can be reversed easier than a vasectomy. But you know what? If you're really just done having kids, it's not a bad idea. Hello, Unacceptable Views, my other favorite Canadians in the house. So there you go. Happy World Vasectomy Day. Aren't you wondering what you came into there, Unacceptable Views? Also, as always, it is Red Friday. Remember Everyone Deployed Day. Fantastic morning to all you incredible heroes and patriots. Happy Red Friday. This is Lance Corporal William Kyle Carpenter. In Afghanistan, a grenade landed next to his best friend. Kyle threw himself on it. He survived. His friend survived. He carries the scars every single day so someone else didn't have to. Today we were red for Kyle and every hero still deployed. We won't forget you. Much love and gratitude to all you heroes and your families. May it rain blessings on y'all today and every day until they come home. So there you go. Red Friday is Remember Everyone Deployed, a noble cause. Other holidays today. Well, you can tell that Christmas and Thanksgiving are coming by some of these. Today is National Gingerbread Cookie Day. Now, I'm thinking if you probably start making them gingerbread panels and whatever for your gingerbread houses right now, but apparently for some reason it's National Gingerbread Cookie Day. I would think that would be later in, like, maybe middle December when you're making cookies for Christmas cookies and shit, but today is the day. Also, World Hello Day. Hello. Whatever. Also, National Stuffing Day. Now, this is something more Thanksgiving-like, right? Because Thanksgiving is less than a week away. And you got to start thinking about if you're going to stuff your bird, if you're going to make your stuffing on the side, on the crock pot or whatever. We always make it on the side. I don't like stuffing the bird. I like, it's just, I'm always afraid of, like, cooking issues when you cook stuffing in the bird. But anyway, but start thinking about your stuffing for Thanksgiving if you're an American, because the Canadians had their Thanksgiving a while back. Also, World Television Day. It should be World Throw Your Television Away Day. Just get up, stop watching TV and get out and touch grass. Also, now this is a weird one. I don't even know what this word means. Alaskatalo Day. Get ready to celebrate Alaskatalo Day with unique traditions, folklore, tales, and a touch of whimsy. Should I assume that since they put a walrus and a moose on here that Alaskatalo Day has something to do with animals that have protruding horns and shit, like rhinos and elephants and moose and okay, let me look this shit up because I have no idea. Somebody has to know. Here, how do you spell that? Alaskatalo. Oh, you can't even cut and paste it. Here we go. What's Alaskatalo? I bet it has something to do with horns that's why they put it. Here we go. Oh, what? Alaskatalo is a fictional creature described as a mythical cross between a moose and a walrus. Oh my gosh! Why is it this day? Here, I'm reading it off of the Brave, Brave search. The, said to have been genetically bred by miners during the Klondike Gold Rush around the turn of the 20th century as a humorous response to naive tourist questions. Oh, that's hilarious. It's a gag. It's a gag. And so people have been asking stupid questions. They say, well, you got to go find a Las Catalo. That's kind of funny. The whimsical creature is a mascot of Alaskatalo Day, an annual celebration held on November 21st, which honors Alaskan humor and creative storytelling. The day was created by writer Stephen C. Levi, who also initiated the longest-running, shortest parade in American history, a 4-minute event held in Anchorage, Alaska, where the participants wear disguises and compete for awards like the smallest and ugliest boat. Okay, this guy's funny. The cultural impact of Alaskatalo extends beyond Earth as the minor planet 2500 Alaskatalo, discovered in 1926, named in its honor. This is hilarious. Makes me want to go to Alaska and start asking Alaskans, where are the Alaskatalos, just to see if they think I'm stupid. But the joke's on them, because I know what it is now. That's wild. There you go. All right, that explains that. Moving on, it's also National Dentist Day, and as we said already, World Vasectomy Day. So there you go. Snip, snip. All right, let's see. Newsy stuff. Hey, I know if there are any boxing fans here, remember the Terrence Crawford, what's Canelo's name? Canelo Alvarez fight recently. Two great fighters. And Terrence Crawford won that fight. Well, good news for fight fans. There could be a rematch sometime soon. Terrence Crawford and Canelo are reportedly in negotiations for a rematch next year. That was a fantastic fight. Crawford won on points, but they're two great boxers. That'll be fun. So there you go. All right. Also in the news. Let's see. I'm just gonna go down down the line here. I'm having a hard time talking. That's not the news. Hello, Louie is in the chat. And he ain't gonna go. Yeah. Hi, Lewis. How you doing? All right. Other news. Apparently there was a crash at the Dubai Air Show. There's an air show in Dubai. Apparently Tejas performs a sharp turn maneuvers at the Dubai Air Show. It performed on all days for 8 minutes a day. In contrast, Pakistan JF. Oh, this is okay. So anyway, let's see. There's a plane crash at the Dubai Air Show. An Indian Tejas fighter jet has crashed during a display at the Dubai Air Show, awaiting info on the pilot. We don't know if the pilot ejected or not. What really kind of threw me off, when I see Tejas, like Tejas, I think Texas. So I'm like, why does India have a fighter called a Tejas? Terrible news of India's Tejas crashing at the Dubai Air Show. No ejection by the pilot seen. A heartbreaking, gut-wrenching scene. It's painful to watch our flagship fighter keep facing such incidents while the Modi government focuses on PR than on genuinely strengthening safety, testing, and reliability. Well, I don't think he's the engineer of those planes. I'm just saying, but I get it. You're gonna blame. That's like when they blamed Trump for the planes colliding in Washington. Trump was not flying the plane, nor was he in the air traffic control tower. So anyway, apparently some Pakistanis are making fun of it though on X. And so someone responded to that. That's what this first one was about. Tejas performed sharp turn maneuvers at the Dubai Air Show. It performed on all days for 8 minutes a day. In contrast, Pakistani JF-17 are benched since 3 days. So to save their illegitimate father reputation, PDs are now spreading rumors that Tejas MK1 suffered oil leakage. Okay, they're having a spat about the Pakistanis and the Indians are snipping each other about this flight. So anyway, that's sad news though. Other news, Biden judge has ordered an end to Trump's National Guard deployment in Washington, D.C. U.S. District Judge Cashapp, appointed by former President Joe Biden, ruled on Thursday that President Donald Trump exceeded the bounds of his authority in ordering the deployment of National Guard troops in Washington, D.C. In her ruling, Judge Cobb contends that Trump acted contrary to law when he deployed the National Guard for non-military crime deterrence missions in the absence of a request from the city's civil authorities. The National Post reported that late October, the Trump administration, using statutory authorities, had extended the National Guard deployment in the nation's capital until February 2026. Notably, Judge Cobb voluntarily stayed her ruling for 21 days in order to allow the Trump administration to file for an appeal. Well, that's interesting. Does she mean it or not? Hello, Lord Stanhope. How you doing? In her ruling, the court finds that the district exercise of sovereign powers within its jurisdiction is irreparably harmed by defendants' action in deploying the guards. Judge Cobb wrote in a finding that Trump administration officials lack statutory authority to deploy guard units from outside the District of Columbia. In September, the District of Columbia Attorney General filed a lawsuit challenging Trump's National Guard deployment in the city, resulting in Cobb's ruling. So that's where that came from. So that's going to get appealed. I'm sure they'll run that up the chain. I don't know if that's going to make it to the Supreme Court or not, but we'll see. All right. Also, in other news, in New York City, this is effed up with a capital F. Senior citizen who saved himself from a would-be mugger is heading to prison. Now, a Queens senior citizen who shot dead a man who tried to rob him will spend 4 years in prison after admitting to toting an unlicensed revolver. So this is interesting. As his lawyer ripped the city's draconian gun laws, Charles Foner, 67, pleaded guilty to 1 count of criminal weapons possession Thursday in a deal to end his case more than 2 years after he fatally shot would-be thief Cody Gonzalez, who charged at him near his Kew Gardens home. So, because New York doesn't have standard ground limit. Hello, TC. What up, Moist? They would be the Moist Tree Rat. The Queens District Attorney office chose not to prosecute Foner, a retired doorman, for Gonzalez's killing after he told cops he defended himself from a mugger who lunged at him at late night holding what looked like a knife, and which turned out to be a pen. But prosecutors slapped Foner with a slew of weapons charges for the unlicensed handgun and for an arsenal of illicit handguns, revolvers, and rifles inside his home in the quiet neighborhoods. So basically, so now he's going to go to jail for 4 years for gun charges, for unlicensed guns. But I don't recall that in the Second Amendment said something about gun licenses or whatever. I don't remember that, but we'll see where that goes. And he took a plea. Wait a minute. He took a plea deal? Wait, Foner took the plea deal to avoid the trial where he faced 25 years in prison? Okay, here it is. But prosecutors Foner took a plea deal to avoid the trial where he faced 25 years in prison on gun charges that are not hard to prove, said his attorney Thomas Kenneth after Thursday's hearing in Queens Supreme Court. Kenneth called Foner a hero who was put in an impossible position by what he called draconian Big Apple gun laws that make it difficult for law-abiding citizens to obtain permits to carry firearms. If this was a state and a city that had affairs in order, Mr. Foner would be getting a plaque, not a prison sentence. I agree with that. So anyway, that's fucked up. Doggy Punch Badnet, what's up? Best name on the internet. Good morning. All right, other news, and I'll keep just going down the line here quickly. We already talked about the Tejas fighter jet. I'll move that over by the Dubai, and not Texas. Tejas is or maybe it's Tejas. I don't know how they pronounce that in India now. If we were speaking Spanish, that would be Tejas, but this might be Tejas or Tejas. I don't know. Anyone know how they would pronounce that in India phonetically? Anybody? Okay, who knows? Okay, we'll skip that. Biden judge, senior citizen. Oh, y'all, did you see this there was the pro-Palestinian activists who were apparently protesting in front of a Jewish synagogue, which I don't know, that might be redundant, but and they had all their little kefias on, and they were screaming, globalize the Intifada, and all this really, really, really nasty stuff. And so the article in Breitbart, pro-Palestinian activists besieged New York City synagogue. Mamdani era has already begun. Hundreds of pro-Palestinian activists besieged Manhattan's prestigious Park East Synagogue on Wednesday night, chanting "Globalize the Intifada, death to the IDF, and take another settler out." What? You mean like for dinner, or for drinks and dancing? Oh, I don't think that's what they meant. In what critics warned is just the beginning of a radicalized climate under socialist mayor Zohran Mamdani. By the way, did you know Zohran's going to meet President Trump at the White House? That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. Because you know how Trump has a tendency to be blunt and basically speak his mind. Oh boy. If that's live, we're watching it. The nighttime demonstration targeted an event about Jewish immigration to Israel hosted inside the synagogue, which has stood on the East 67th Street since 1890 and also houses a prominent Jewish day school. Organizers from Ada, or whatever, New York and New Jersey within our lifetime, Jewish Voice for Peace New York, and allied anti-Israel groups promoted the rally as No Settlers on Stolen Land, oh good God, and a protest to stop the settler recruiting fair, branding the program as settler recruiting event. Look, so many people can claim that to be stolen land, including the Jews, clearly, because it seems to me that long before there was anything that was named Syria Palestina, because clearly it's not an Arab name because there's a P in it, the peace sign. There's no peace sign in Arabic. But anyway, yeah, we got some evidence the Jews might have been there first and kind of got pushed out and in and out forever. So anyway, whatever. Jesus. So anyway, radical pro-Palestinian activists pounded drums and unleashed a barrage of incendiary chants, including "Resistance is glorious," "Intifada revolution," "No peace on stolen land," "We don't want no two states," "We want 48." Oh, that's terrible. That's so these people are literally calling for the elimination of Israel. And when they say globalize the Intifada, that means they want them all dead too. Fantastic. It's this is going to go over well. There's going to be, let's just say there's a lot of Jewish people in New York, and there's a lot of, the Muslims are starting some shit. This could get nasty. I'm just saying. And I'm telling you, the Jews in New York don't fuck around. I'm just saying, don't, who do you think the syndicate was? We'll see how this goes. I'm getting nervous about it, though, to be honest with you. All right, let's move on. Governor of California is trending. Why? Well, I don't know if this is exactly why, but Mr. Eric Swalwell launches bid for California governor on Jimmy Kimmel's show, which is, what a great place to announce you're running for governor of California on that douchebag's talk show. But anyway, Bay Area Democrat, a 7-term congressman and former prosecutor, announced his 2026 run for governor, stressing 2 key roles: protecting residents from Trump-era actions like ICE raids and research cuts. Look, California has way more problems than that. Your current governor's got the budget all fucked up. While making life affordable enough to start a job, family, home in 1 decade. Yeah, no one's ever thought of that, Eric. Swalwell, 45 years old, draws on his Dublin roots. Why? Police family background. Why? Californians hate the police. And impeachment leadership against Trump to highlight public safety and housing needs amid crime and homelessness worries, which is one of California's biggest problems. The wide open race features rivals like Katie Porter and new entrant Tom Steyer, So anyway, yeah, is this his ad?
I'm Eric Swalwell, and
yeah,
it's this
I don't want to play his music. I'll just put his. I don't know what this is. Is this the announcement he put on Kimmel? No, it's not. I'll put a separate link to his crap here, his announcement. But it's hilarious because look, the two most likely people to lead in this race are none other than Eric Swalwell, who was stupid a Chinese spy, and Katie Porter, who apparently poured scalding mashed potatoes on her husband's head at one time. Oh, also someone else thinking about a run. Actor James Wood is rumored to be considering a run for California governor. Where's that extra doubt? I don't know. Oh, I can't do that anymore. Do I even have wrong on here anymore? I don't. I used to have a buzzer. Oh, here it is. X'd out. And then there's also this guy. Who is he? Steve Hilton. Isn't he kind of an entertainment lawyer or something like that? As governor of California, I will get biological males out of women's prisons. Thank you, listen to Tish, for being such a strong fighter in the battle for common sense. So apparently this guy's running for governor. There's going to be a shit ton of people running for governor. And I'm not even sure if Gavin Newsom is going to run again because, he wants to be the president, right? Did anyone notice that Gavin Newsom might want to run for president? Who said that? Who said that? I don't know who said that. Anyway, there you go. Those are your choices. Good luck, California. Yeah. All right. Other things. Yeah, we did Swalwell. And there's Swalwell again. Oh, here's one. In Minnesota, my lovely home state. Now, I saw this post on X, the Grok summary, and I chuckled a little bit as soon as I saw the title. Minnesota woman charged in $14 million autism therapy fraud scheme. That's an interesting way to put it. Because the bigger issue is not the autism therapy fraud scheme, but where the money went. That's the bigger story. Though her company, Smart Therapy LLC, someone named Hassan allegedly paid parents $300 to $1,500 monthly per child to sign up, even inventing diagnoses while hiring unqualified teens and billing for ghost hours with fake signatures. This fits into a larger web of Minnesota frauds costing taxpayers billions of dollars amid explosive growth in autism program spending from $3 million in 2018 to $399 million in 2022. So in 5 years, the autism spending in Minnesota, the do-good legislature, went from $3 million to $399 million. And this woman, here, let's come down here. There's a City Journal article which is really good, but it's so long that I don't want to get into that. Here it is. A massive scandal is erupting in Minnesota as Somalians in the state. Oh, I didn't tell you where the money was going though. They've been sending money to the Al-Shabaab terrorist group in Somalia. And in fact, the largest funder of Al-Shabaab, the terrorist group in Somalia, are Minnesota taxpayers from this fraud network that they've been discovering in Minnesota. Over $300 million in fraud that they've been finding. Breaking: a massive scandal is erupting in Minnesota as Somalians in the state artificially surged their rates of autism to fraudulently gain Medicaid funding. Remember Medicaid? And then sent the money to terror organization Al-Shabaab. Tim Walz, Minnesota has massive problems to the tune of millions in Medicaid fraud. Would that be counting in waste, fraud, and abuse? I think so. Let's see. Benny Johnson put the key points here from City Journal article, which you can read. I'll put in the links. In many cases, the fraud has allegedly been perpetrated by members of the Minnesota sizable Somali community. Federal Counterterrorism sources confirmed that millions of dollars in stolen funds had been sent back to Somalia, where they ultimately landed in the hands of the terror group Al-Shabaab. As one confidential source put it, the largest funder of Al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer. And then this part here, it didn't matter. Hassan and her co-conspirators approached parents in the Somali community and recruited their children into autism therapy services. It didn't matter, prosecutors suggested. If a child did not have an autism diagnosis, Hassan would facilitate a fraudulent one. In a press release announcing the indictment, the U.S. Attorney's Office made clear that the alleged autism fraud scheme extended to a wide network of people to drive up enrollment. Hassan and her partners paid monthly cash kickback payments to the parents of children who enrolled. The release reads, these kickback payments range from $300 to $1,500 per child per month. So, we have such a big problem with this. Tim Walz should never see the governor's office again. He's running again. But this is such, the Twin Cities in particular are so left wings as far as the state goes, and they dominate politics in the state. But somebody's got to get rid of Tim Walz. I mean, in a what do you call it? In a electoral way. You need to get rid of that shithead. So anyway, here's the Breitbart article. Minnesota Somali Medicaid fraud investigation reveals terrorist link. Largest funder of Al-Shabaab is the Minnesota taxpayer. So a lot of the same information, but the City Journal article is much more thorough. Just FYI. Speaking of which, this is Al-Shabaab is a kind of an offshoot of Al-Qaeda. Blue State Somalis allegedly sent welfare money to Al-Qaeda ally, planning another 9/11. Talking about the same article. So there's 3 articles on this, but we don't need to get into them. Also the news in North Carolina, this is one of those things where you go, really? Teen girl's predator released despite ICE hold request in North Carolina. Jordan Renato Castillo Chavez, a 29-year-old Costa Rican national in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, faces charges of soliciting and exploiting a 13-year-old girl after the victim's mother found inappropriate messages in March. Pineville police arrested him, and ICE requested a detainer to hold him for deportation, but the local sheriff, who knows better than you do, released him on a bond without notice following a policy in 2019 that has ignored hundreds of such requests. This case highlights tensions amid DHS Operation Charlotte's Web, which arrested 370 criminal non-citizens in the area, sparking fear, school absences, and debates over immigration enforcement. Yeah, they had a lot of students that aren't going to school, which tells you, do they have a lot of extra illegal aliens in the schools? Because that's the only reason they wouldn't be going to schools, right? So anyway, this is fucked up. Where's the, why is Pramila on here? Pramila says, Democrat Representative Pramila Jayapal, the Chin, has a question for MAGA. Tens of thousands of Charlotte families are keeping their kids home from school because they're afraid of ICE and Border Patrol. Is this really the America we want to live in? What's your response? Here, let's unpin this because you've already shared the stream. Let's take a poll. And I'm gonna. I have a feeling that I already know the answer, but thousands of Charlotte families. Okay, I'll see if I can cut and paste this. No, I can't. Okay, based on this, here, how about, let's do it this way. Based on the article I just read, is this the America we want to live in? There you go. Is this the America we want to live in? I think I know the answer, but I'm still going to take a poll on it. Oh, the Chin. She's awesome. Anyway, moving on. Other news, Commander Chief is training. So we showed you the senators and Congress critters who made that video about telling military personnel to not follow Donald Trump's orders. Now, granted, they did qualify it as don't unlawful orders, but it's turned into quite the hubbub. I'm not going to erase the Q&A. No, I'm not going to. Shut up. Damn it. So Donald Trump's really angry about that. And he posted this. It's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set. He's calling for them to be prosecuted for that that little stunt they did. But it's interesting because, again, I think their defense here is they specifically said to not follow illegal orders. Now, granted, they didn't give any examples what those illegal orders might be. And also, it's funny because they say they're doing it because they care about the troops and whatnot, but they didn't give a shit about the troops when they were firing ones who weren't taking the experimental jab. I'm just, it's interesting. So people talking about this, any elected lawmakers who tells the military to disobey the orders from the commander-in-chief should face the harshest penalties under the law. Now, unfortunately, the harshest penalty under the law for this would be the end. And I'm although maybe that's the harshest penalty. 25 years hard labor I would be fine with, but they don't do hard labor penalties anymore because, we don't care about rehabilitating or making people not want to be in prison. We try to make it as comfortable for them as possible. Not illegal orders. Remember, they imprisoned Lieutenant Scheller for the exact same thing. Yes, they did. Yeah. Former service members cannot be allowed to call for mutiny against the commander-in-chief. I don't give a fuck what the public office they hold. This is not a First Amendment issue. It's overt sedition. A lot of people, seditious, treason, and commander-in-chief are all treading because of this. And so there's quite the back and forth going about this. I'm just saying. So Trump wants sedition charges for traitor lawmakers urging troops to defy orders. President Donald Trump on Thursday seemingly called for the arrest of several Democratic lawmakers who appeared in a video encouraging military and intelligence personnel to refuse illegal orders. Trump described their conduct as seditious and subject to the death penalty. And that has them pretty fired up too. Like, Donald Trump called us to be put to death. Yeah, okay. Trump wrote in a post on Truth Social, "This is really bad and dangerous to our country. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. Seditious behavior from traitors. Lock them up? ? He had another post, seditious behavior punishable by death. The video features Senator Elizabeth Slotkin of Michigan, Mark Kelly of Arizona, as well as Representatives Chris DeLuzio of Pennsylvania, Maggie Goodlander of New Hampshire, Chrissy Holohan, Pennsylvania, and Jason Crow of Colorado. And they are all kind of in unison, posting the same word-for-word personal videos of them complaining that Donald Trump called for our death, whatever. It's a pretty sticky situation, if you ask me. That's not. Well, let's see. Let's hear what Stephen Miller had to say about this. Oh boy, this is going to be good. Here's Stephen Miller.
It is insurrection, plainly, directly, without question. And when you have one of the lawmakers on that video being unable to state in, as you say, lengthy cross-examination, a single so-called illegal order, it just proves the point. It's a general call for rebellion from the CIA and the armed services of the United States by Democrat lawmakers, saying that you have not only the right but the duty and the obligation to defy orders of the commander-in-chief, that those who carry weapons in America's name should defy their chain of command and engage in open acts of insurrection, that the CIA, the clandestine service, which isn't even legally authorized to operate in the United States,
right,
should engage in, again, acts of rebellion and insurrection. These lawmakers should honestly.
Okay, and that's where he ended his. Well, that's where they cut off. I don't know what he put what he said after that. But oh hey, no, Harry, you said this one out. Your party is constantly undermining and committing actual crimes. Your rhetoric got Charlie killed. The Democrats made their own bed when they decided they wanted to tell the military not to obey their commander-in-chief. Illegal orders? Bullshit. The Democrats don't run this country. President Trump does. Sit the fuck down. So, yeah. So you can go through that tab. I'm not going to get into any more than that because it's almost time, man. It actually is time. Seditious is trending because of it. Sedition is trending because of it. And traitors is trending because of that. And then I opened one other article here. By the way, Democrats embracing violent rhetoric will mark the congressional midterms. You know, they're saying this. All these people who were in that video are saying, you know, Donald Trump is trying to perpetrate violence against us. And you know what? If there might be a psycho out there that might do something stupid. I hope there's not. I pray there's not. But it's not like the Democrats aren't embracing violent rhetoric and inflammatory rhetoric about Donald Trump and the GOP. And so this whole article, violent rhetoric isn't isolated, has become the feature of Democratic primaries as the party takes a hardy turn left. On September 19th, Representative Eugene Vidman, you know, remember him? He's one of the Vidman twins. One of them was part of the, he's the one that was part of the impeachment. Joined fellow Virginian Democrats in condemning political violence. Said condemnation came 2 days after an assassin murdered conservative icon Charlie Kirk while he was speaking at a free speech event in Utah. Quote, "The rise in political violence is disturbing and unacceptable," Vidman and the Democrat delegation said. "We're unified in our condemnation of these attacks, and it's critical to the safety of all Americans and the health of our democracy that we are able to approach our political differences with respect and without resorting to violence." But less than a month later, Vidman was standing by his man, leftist Virginia Attorney General candidate Jay Jones. Now, we know who Jay Jones is. He's the one who said that his opponent should be ended by projectiles in the cranium. So should his wife and kids. Stand right next to him. And in fact, here's let's see, where's the quote here? "We're just a month out from Election Day in Virginia. It's time for our Commonwealth to send a message that we're tired of Republican chaos," freshman congressman urged on an X post. Virginia, make a plan to vote early if you can, blah, blah, blah. So he was out there stumping for the guy who was calling for someone else's ending with the projectiles. So in other words, political violence is disturbing and unacceptable, but not disqualifying for a Democrat in the heat of a statewide attorney general race. Now, this article goes on to just talking about multiple Democrats who seem to be embracing the rhetoric of political violence, and it's not cool. So I'll leave that in the links. But you know what? I'm sorry, I just can't do it today. I just the aggregators out there, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. But I have something very important to do, because ladies and gentlemen, it is time. You wait for it every week. It's Friday. Q and A. Well, why did that music cut off so hard? That was weird. It's Friday Q&A, people. And of course, by the way, let's just go ahead and get this poll out of the way and make sure that I don't close the Q&A. We're going to end the poll. Wait, it was like 50%? Based on the article I just read, is this the American you want to live in as far as the deportation things? Did you not understand the question? Of course, only 10 people answered. Are there only 10 people here? Pretty much. Oh my gosh. Well, this is it's 20. There's 20 here now. Well, that's okay. 12 likes, though. Hit the damn like button. Even you, AD. Just hit it. Okay, let's do Friday Q&A, because there's a lot of questions already. And I'm sure you guys will think of more as we go along. So let's just do that. Fred 316. Morning, P-Dawg. Did you see my message on your show yesterday? Hope you both well. I did not. Not that I know of. I don't remember. In fact, I'm not even sure who you are with the ats because, people have their names and then they have the ats, and I'm only getting the ats. So what if you can write the message again and I'll check it out in a minute here, but it's time for Friday Q&A, the most important part of the week as far as this show goes, because, and let's start. The first question of the day, shockingly, comes from Avocado Diabli. Now, I'm not doing that every time, but I want you to hit the like button, so I'm just going to give you a music here and there, and then we'll get it going. First question today, let's see. Hang on. I got to widen this out so I can read the whole thing. Okay, here we go. If Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes in 1974 had threatened to kneecap you with a 200-year-old summer sausage if you did not give them weekly pedicures, what would you have done? Well, first of all, I wouldn't have to worry about Teddy very long because he wouldn't be able to chase me down. Yeah, I would have bought I'd have bought a weapon and say hello to my little friend if that happened. I'm just saying. I'm not giving you no damn pedicure. I don't do feet. I barely like my own feet. So no, fuck off. I am not giving you pedicures. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, including Teddy Pendergrass. If you don't know me by now, you will never know me. No, you won't. Ooh, ooh. Hey. Okay, as Diabli is the second question also. It says, if I teach my pig to read, you mean like Charlotte's Web? If I teach my pig to read, and it is curious about Islam, is it allowed to read the Quran, or do I have to sit there and turn the pages for it? Well, I think you probably have to turn the pages for it anyway because, pigs aren't necessarily the most manually dexterous animals on the planet with those big old poof things they got. And look, you can let the pig read the Quran, but then it may decide it wants self's ends because it hates its own self. So I hope that answers your question. Avocado Diabli asked, if you could live till your 500th birthday and die in your sleep every day as healthy as 25 years old, as 25-year-old you, and all you had to do was graft goat balls, scrotum and all, to your earlobes, would you do it? Oh, that's Richo. Okay, I got you. Okay, hang on a second, Richo. Yeah, I'm not grafting no goat balls to my ears. And the reason I wouldn't want to live to 500 years old is because I wouldn't know anybody. I mean, that would suck. My family would be all gone. My family's way more important. I'd just go ahead and die. Fuck it. I'm not grafting no goat balls to my ears. The hell? So it was Richard. Fred 316, whatever all that is our friend Richo from Down Under, who said, I wrote this, P-Dawg. Or no, yeah, Richard's Down Under. How have you been, P-Dawg? It's Richo here, but now back in country, I never get to see your things anymore. What do you mean by my things? Okay, stop that. That's nasty. And am now working on vineyards like the good country boy I was meant to be. Oh, cool. Because I'm a fan of Australian wines. What vineyards do you work for, Richo? I'm just curious. And hello, Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, and Lord Stanhope, you already here. Anyway, okay, I'm just curious. Okay, now, next question is also from Avocado Diabli. who asks, when something is cut in half, which half is the original? Well, isn't it always? I mean, both aren't they? Now, if you duplicate something like clone it, then you would not be cut, like, then the original is obvious, but because there's only one original. But if you cut it in half, there's still original. What do you mean? I don't understand the question. Is that a philosophical thing? I don't do philosophy. Well, yes, I do, but I'm not doing it this time. Okay. Avocados Diablo asks, if you claim the cops are stalking you and you get charged with filing a false report over it and a warrant is issued for your arrest, now that every cop is looking for you, are you proven right? Oh, dude, that's a good question. No, because they weren't stalking you before the court order, so never mind. That's a dumb question. Anyway, Avocados Diablo asks, okay, I didn't mean to call your question dumb, but you know how I am. Avocados Diablo asks, if humans had evolved to have sex organs on their feet, would we consider people with groin fetishes to be the weird ones instead? Probably. And the thing is, if you evolved to have sex organs on your feet, that would be the norm, right? It'd be normal. Everyone would have their sex organs on their feet. You'd be like, pretend these are feet. You'd be like doing this shit all the time. Or not all the time, because, some chicks don't like everybody. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? That would be normal, and the groin fetish would be weird. Yeah. So it'd be a groin fetish would be the same thing as an armpit fetish. You know what I mean? That's what it'd be like. Okay. Ms. Wild Wolf asks, what is your favorite kind of ice cream? Have you asked me this before? Let's see, let me think about that. Oh, well, this is not necessarily ice cream, but in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there is a burger and frozen custard chain called Kopp's, Kopps. And for some reason, I just really like Kopp's frozen custard. And I don't care what flavor. I just love the frozen custard. It's kind of like Culver's, but for some reason, the custard there is so much richer, and oh my gosh, it's so good. Anyway, so yeah, that would be at Kopp's, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Avocados Diablo asks, if you traveled into the distant future and visited an art museum, and in it there was an artist rendition of that thumbnail of Venom Schiff, would you feel pride and say, I did that? You know what? Ah! I mean, shit, if it made it into an art museum, then I'd be like, that face? Well, I did that. Sure, why not? Damn it. Every damn week. Lord Stanhope asks, in your professional opinion, as a professional bartender, what actually differentiates dressing from stuffing? Well, okay, so stuffing is the kind of the term that the stuff you stuff into the bird and cook it in the bird. Whereas dressing, you generally cook outside the bird, but because they're kind of the same thing, people use the words interchangeably. But stuffing is the stuff that you stuff the bird with and cook it inside the bird. Dressing is just when you don't cook it inside the bird. So there you go. I think that's probably right? Anyone have a different answer for that? Just put it in the chat. Okay, let's see. Ms. Wildwolf asks, what is 3 things you would change in your life if you could go back in time and warn yourself? 1, I would have started investing way earlier. Maybe when I was 15, I would have started investing. Back then it would have been a quarter a week or whatever. But then I don't know if you could do that though, because now you can do micro transactions, which you couldn't do back when I was a kid. But I would definitely be putting a lot more money away because I would have been retired by now instead of, in the 5 or 6 years from now that I'm going to retire. I'd have been retired 10 years ago. And we'd be traveling the world. Second thing, I would have not stopped playing sports my senior year in high school. I was a pretty good basketball player, and I was a good athlete, and I probably could have gone to school for a lot cheaper had I just played my senior year, because I did have some minor interest in things with me when I was a junior, especially in basketball. And I would have worked harder at sports too, because I was when I got to college, I realized, oh my God, I can hang with the men's basketball team at Drake University. I used to play this pickup games with them all the time. So I was like, oh God, if I had just actually worked harder, I would have maybe gone to school for free. And then number 3, what's the third thing? Man, this is a long question. The third thing. Oh, I would have started doing the vacations earlier. I've always been a free spirit anyway. I've had times where I've just taken off for 6 months and traveled the country and stuff, but I would have done more of that. There's so many things to see. And I realized that you don't necessarily need to drive thousands of miles to go see cool shit. And I would have just done that more, because there's a lot of cool stuff that's right near you that you just go, man, why haven't I ever gone there? Like, for example, I've never been to the sculpture garden at the Walker Arts Center in Minneapolis. You know, that the big cherry on the spoon, that sculpture garden. I've never been there. I see the picture all the time when they have NFL games in the Twin Cities, right? When they have a televised Vikings game. But I've never been to that sculpture garden. And I was at this other sculpture garden out in up near Taylor's Falls, which most of you don't know what I'm talking about. And I was like, oh, this shit's cool. I wish I'd have stopped here a long time ago. So that kind of stuff is probably what I'd do. Those would be the 3 things I'd change. Ms. Wildwolf asks, what is your all-time favorite sport? I've been a basketball guy forever. I coached basketball for 30 years. I played basketball, and my son played basketball, and I still go to basketball games now and then. And I like basketball. Ms. Wildwolf asks, would you ever do on-the-scene news reporting? Yeah, I want to go interview people at protests one of these days. So I'm going to do that. I just know when I'm going to do it, when I have time, I guess. Oh, I never changed the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Here, let's fix that right now. There is no Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, so there is an opening for you. So there you go. Yes, I would. Lord Stanhope asks, in your honest opinion, as a professional bartender, what state has the best country ham? And do you prefer smoked or salt cured? Oh boy, that's tough. I like smoked ham, first of all. I don't know which state has the best country ham. There's some great smokehouses right out here in Minnesota, but my guess is Iowa, because it's the pig raising capital of the world. And I'm sure you can find a really good, smoked or salt cured ham in Iowa. So there you go. Avocados down the ass. Speaking of 60s folk groups, as a professional bartender, did you see the guy in Florida who got himself shot to death by cops for charging at them with a brick after beating an old man with it? I did not. Here, let's see if I can find that. Hang on a second. Is there a name on it? Here, I'll go on X. I'll write brick, police, shot. Let's see if that does it. Brick, police, shot. Let's see what we get on that. This is a negligent discharge and it's entirely the officer's fault. Shot was fired because poorly treated officer had his finger on the trigger before. No, that's not the one. Was it at a gas station? Nope, that's at a village in Nigeria. Officer got knocked out with a brick in Kenosha, Wisconsin, in response to the shooting of an unarmed black. That's from 2020. What? Officer shot in conversation with homicide suspect in stable condition in Brookdale Hospital. Polk County where? Polk County where, AD? On the 19th. In Polk County what? Iowa? Minnesota? What state? Polk County, Florida. Oh, okay. Oh, here it is. 911 emergency. Police shooting. Suspect is shot by police after throwing a brick at them. That's in California, though. That's in 2024. Okay, let's see. Let's go Polk County, Florida. Okay, we'll add Polk County, Florida. P-O-L-K. O-U. Damn it. O-U-N-T-Y. There we go. Polk County, Florida. Brick police shot. Okay, that's Oskaloosa. Here it is. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says his deputy shot and convicted a child molester who beat a man with a brick and threatened him with it. Oh, here's the story. Let's open this up. He just made us kill him. Polk deputy shot brick-wielding attacker, Judd says. That's that county that they don't fuck around, right? Is that who the sheriff who just says, hey, if you invade someone's home and they shoot you, that's what they're supposed to do? Is that guy? I'm pretty sure that sounds like it. So here it is. Full story as it stands. Yes, the deputy shot a guy with a brick, but what the leftist media won't say is that bricks can be deadly weapons, and he was using it as such before he was shot. As far as I'm concerned, the tiller drill applies here just as much as it does with a club or a knife. See comments for the definition of tiller drill. So anyway, some of them are mad because he shot the guy with the brick. So there you go. I'll get into that a little more later. All right, back to the Friday Q&A. Let's see. Lord Stanhope asks, if you ran into a melee between Palestinians and Israelis, would wrapping yourself in brats or sage sausage protect you from harm? No, because they'll just hit you with a stick and try not to touch the big. The thing is, though, I don't think Israelis. It's not that they won't touch bacon; they just won't eat it. Versus Palestinians, you know, Islam, they can't even touch it. Okay, so I don't know. You know, I don't know. Okay, that's in brats. Well, what are brats made of pork? I don't even know what brats are made of, but they're delicious. Lord Stanhope asking, in your honest opinion as a bartender, who is the ugliest member of Congress? Oh boy. Well, unfortunately, right now it's John Fetterman because he got his face all mashed up when he hit his head. But you know who? There's two that are in the running that, as far as I'm concerned. One of them is whatever that congresswoman is with the blue hair, the old gal, and it's not because she's old. It's because she's ugly as fuck, and she has that blue hair. She's old, and she looks stupid. And Jayapal is definitely on the list. Who else can you think of? Anyone else think of that? He missed some of mine. No, I did it. Did I? Augers on the feet. No, I'm not. I just haven't gotten to him yet. There's a bunch of questions here, AD. I didn't miss your questions. Hang on. Anyone else? Skip my cannibals. What cannibals? Wait, Lord Stanhope, you have a cannibal question? Lord Stanhope. What? Okay, I'm looking for your first question. Your first question. Okay, dressing or stuffing. Build a wall. Oh my gosh. I skipped the pork belly one though. If you build a wall of pork belly around your house, would it make it impregnable to Quran devotees? Yes, absolutely. That's how you keep them out. What the fuck? And then here melee, because that's next. See, smoked or cured. Then 60s folks group. Then Lord Stanhope said, if you ran a melee between Palestinians and Israelis, I'm still going. And then who's the ugliest member of Congress? So I didn't miss any yet. P-Dawg, your Palestinian protests get crazy. Like here in Oz, we had a 1 to 2 million walk over Sydney Harbor Bridge. It just depends on where you are. Like they had one protest in New York City where they all decided that they were going to pray in the middle of the street and block the streets for a while, just to kind of show their dominance. And, in Dearborn maybe, but they tend to spread them out in different places. Now in Little Somalia, known as Minneapolis, we surely could have a big protest if you wanted to, because there's like 15,000 in Minneapolis, and then also St. Cloud, Minnesota has a shit ton of Somalians there. but I just never been to one, so I don't know. But you see them; they're not super crazy yet. But that one in New York City in front of the synagogue, that was crazy. Is the word that would describe it, just because the shit they were saying right outside a fucking synagogue. It was clearly anti-Jew. It wasn't anti-Israel. It was anti-Jew. So it was fucked up. Whatever. All right, let me get ugliest member of Congress, Jayapal, or that one blue-haired wench, Rosa DeLauro. Yeah, that's it. All right, moving on. Avocados Diablo ask. I'm doing good. You know how? Wait. Oh shit. Now I scrolled too far. That's not what I want to do. You know how people like to call Trump a pedophile as an insult? Does that mean he could write a holy book and create an untouchable, uncriticizable religion now? Yes! Yes! Yes, he could. The other thing about that, too, it is kind of and I don't like to hedge the terms because it's fucked up what Epstein did anyway. But not necessarily pedophile, pederast, right? Because pedophiles, like, I don't know if I'm saying that a lot. PDF file is little kids, right? And a pederast is like underage. But, you know what I mean? So, not that matters, because fuck Jeffrey Epstein and everyone involved. And Trump, too, if he was involved. I don't care who it is. I'm waiting for the perp walks. But anyway, okay. Lord Stanhope asked, did adults ever exist? If not now, did they in the past? I don't understand the question. Did adults ever exist? Well, they exist right now. I don't know what that means. P-Dawg, are you okay? Oh, not 1 to 2 million. No, we don't have any 1 to 2 million Palestinian protests, but they're working on it. They're going to try to get one. They're going to have 1 million Hamas march one of these days. Okay, Avocados Diablo asks, is it still incest if you have sex with a family member but they are from a parallel universe? What? Yes. Do not have sex with a family member even if they're in a parallel universe. It's still your family. Matching DNA, everything. You're going to have some 5-legged and 3-armed kids. Lord Stanhope asks, and why would you want to test the waters? First of all, that'd be weird. You're gonna ship somebody who looks exactly like your sister? No. Lord Stanhope asks, if Armageddon hit and you had to eat your shoes, what would be the best brand for dinner, and what would be a good breakfast loafer? So I'd be going with Cole Haan's would probably be the best for dinner because it's really fine leather and you got to do it. It might need a little hot sauce, but it'd be good. And the slippers, I don't know. Let's say Skechers. They make some nice slippers and probably have a nice, flowery finish. I don't know. Lord Stanhope asks, if, and it's true, mercy for the wicked is a crime against the innocent, what would propagation of the stupid entail? I don't know. Good Lord. Hello, Renee Mayette. What's up? Okay, let me just read this again. And if, and it's true, mercy for the wicked is a crime against the innocent, what would propagation of the stupid entail? Man on the street interviews with the Palestinian protesters who don't really know why they're there. Does that help answer? I don't know if that answers the question, but that's my answer. Avocados Diablo asks, if there were a restaurant that made the best food known to man, but all the serving staff were dressed as in glad robes and addressed all the customers with respective racist slurs, would you still eat there? Fucking right, I'll eat there. I don't give a shit. Some pussy in a mask calling me the N-bombs. Fuck you. I'm eating if it has the best food, I'm eating there. Y'all motherfuckers don't scare me. Shit. Lord Stan asks, between Tucker and Ben Shapiro, whose side would you take and why? I have my issues with each of them. And I don't have an answer for the question. I think both of them have their own interesting agendas. I think they both make good points on many things, and they make points where I go, what the fuck did he just say on a lot of other things? So, I'm not taking a side. I'll just take whichever thing they say is right, and then I'll take that side for that particular issue, and then continue and as they go back and forth and choose which ones they're right. And if they're wrong, I'm like, hey, you're an idiot. Okay, I hope that answers the question. Selected Boy asks, what is more horrific to witness than a car crash? Yeah, I accidentally watched one of those. One of those beheading videos. Was it the Daniel Pearl one? And I was like, oh fuck, I can't even watch it anymore. Car crashes I can deal with, because unless someone like flips out of the car and gets cut in half or something. But yeah, that back when that Daniel Pearl got beheaded and they had the video online, and I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? Oh my God, what the fuck? That's how I was. In fact, I might have exactly saw that, because I clicked on it and that's what came up. And I'm like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Yeah, that's it. Lord Stand Up, do democratic socialists understand that in practice, communism is far closer in practice to a fascist or even a national socialist government far more than a capitalist representative democracy? No, they're fucking stupid. So no, they don't know that. And they also can't seem to figure out there's a reason there have been no pure communist countries that have made it longer than a few, 100 years. So, and all of them are fucked. So they don't understand that? No, they don't. I'm sorry, did I get a little emotional there? Avocado asks, how many raccoons would you need to take over a small Central American country? And how long do you think it would take to train them to perform military maneuvers and use weapons? Raccoons? Huh. It would have to be like a 4-to-1 ratio to the population of the country, because raccoons are kind of dumb, but they're resourceful. And if you can train them, oh shit, they'll fuck you up. So yes, but I'm still saying 4-to-1 because, guns and feet and kicking and all that stuff. It'd be like, kind of like, it'd be like a swarm on, what's that show? The Walking Dead. It's kind of like that, you can take out a bunch of those Walking Dead things by shooting them in the head, but if the swarm's too big, they just devour you. And that's what I would do. I would just use a whole swarm of trained raccoons. So there you go. I hope that answers your question. Lord Stanhope asks, how do I explain to stupid people? Wait a minute. Didn't I already read that? Oh, no, you put it up here, and then you asked another question similar. I see. How do I explain to stupid people that communism, in theory and practice, is closer to National Socialism than the government we live under? Wait, what? Yeah, it's the same question, same answer. You don't, because they're stupid. You try. Here's what you do. You tell them, here's what they do. You take them and you say, okay, I'm going to put 100 of you on an island, and you can practice socialism there, and realize that the lazy fuckers who don't work, you're going to want to kick their ass because they don't do shit, and you're going to want to kick them off the island. Just like Bernie Sanders. Remember, Bernie Sanders got kicked out of a commune, right? But he still didn't learn from that. So see, he must be really stupid. Okay, next. Select Boy asks, what's the worst kind of dessert that you don't ever want to see, much less taste? Monkey brains. That scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark where they're eating the monkey brains as a delicacy dessert. Fuck that shit. I ain't eating no fucking monkey brains. Not that I have an opinion. Lord Stanhope asks, how do I deal with friends and family that are upset that I am indifferent to them not inviting me to their festivities? Because, I didn't want to see them that much either. I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I'm a little bit devastated that a couple relatives of mine aren't going to be at Thanksgiving this year. I figured out they're probably not going to ever be probably not going to see them on holidays at all. And so that's a bad question for me, and it makes me sad. So but if they didn't, but for them not inviting you, okay, well then that's okay. If you don't give a fuck and they didn't invite you, they're never going to know anyway. So fuck it. Just don't give a shit. I don't care. Anyway, Lord Stand-Up, Coltrane, John, or Coleman, or Net, show your work. No, I'm not showing my work. And I'm not, Coleman or Net. I'm not familiar with Coleman or Net. I'm familiar with Coltrane, or Net or Net Coleman. I'm sorry, or Net Coleman. I mean, Coltrane? Just because that's who I know? Now if you said Coltrane or Maceo Parker or, something like that, I'd been like, Coltrane. Because he's amazing. And I was a saxophone player. Avocado Salvias, if there were one song that would trigger your buried programming to root around in mud and eat bugs? What? Bugles. Bugles corn chips. Oh, you were saying Bugles. Hang on. I'm going to start over. If there were one song that would trigger your buried programming to root around in mud and eat bugle corn chips till you were 600 pounds, what would you want it to be? Well, see, now it's already too late because I would do that without any special prompting because, bugles are cool and, mud, I like mud. But let's say it'd be, how about What's Up by Four Non-Blondes? That would be the one. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? Oh, where's that mud? Okay, next. I've got to stay on the ass regarding the goat testicles. I scrolled by accident. Oh, I got to get done here. I'm running out of time. Okay, I'm okay. All right. And I'm not sure why this. Oh, the goat testicle earrings. I got you. Or the grafts. Regarding the goat testicles and scrotums grafted to your ears and living to 500, would you do it all if all your friends and family could also do it as well? Well, look, if we all did it together and all had the goat testicles grafted to our ears, we would all be the same, and we'd be just like, yeah, I know, the goat testicles. But, at least we're live. It's good to be alive, though. Goat testicles and all. So, yeah, why not? Lord Stanhope asks, you have a friend from childhood who owns a farm. I lived on a farm until I was 4 years old. But I digress. Owns a farm. One day he gives you a tour, and you learn that he trained his horses and mules to give blowjobs. What would you do? And if you reported him, to who would you? Well, the ASPCA, what is that? Some protection, cruelty to animals. Because I was going to say I wouldn't want to choke a mule. But anyway, I have no interest whatsoever in sexual relations with any type of animal whatsoever, other than the human animal, and really only one, because I'm married and happy, and I don't need to have blowjobs from horses and mules or donkeys, whatever the fuck you just said. So no, sorry, that's weird. Okay, MCAS Diablo asks, if you could fill a pool with Jell-O and bounce around on it, what flavor would you choose? Well, lime. That's the only flavor that's worth a damn. Lord Stanhope asks, if you had genitals on your feet, would it be painful to walk? Well, no, because if there were genitals on your feet, they would be designed to be on your feet. So for some reason, you'd have a what do you call that when you have you're oblivious to pain or whatever? You'd have conditioning that would be like, no, this is just normal. No, it wouldn't hurt. I don't think. Both obviously the genitals would be designed to walk on too. So no. I'm gonna say yes. If you quantum leapt into a member of 60s folks group, okay, we did this once already. So you could secretly assassinate Nikita Khrushchev. Who would you want it to be? You mean the folk group? That that has Peter, Paul, and Mary written all over it. Because Mary, you know, she's got the old knife thing and shit. You know what I'm talking about, right? The whole Mary, whatever, the knives. Yeah. Anyway. Select Boy asks, oh wait, here's another one. Lord Stanhope, serious. What's the most horrendous thing you ever ate that turned out to be dope to the point that you search it out yet cannot find it? I don't know that I seek it out, but someone explained to me what menudo is, you know, that Mexican soup thing. And I was like, what? You're eating that? And I was like, oh, no. And then it turned out to be really good, but I was still, after I ate it and it was good, I was still like, I don't know if I could eat that again, but it was fucking good. So anyway, look it up, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Lord Select Boy asks, if there were a potion that would bring you back into your prime youth, would you take it? Just myself? I don't think so. If I could take it with friends or my wife or whatever, then yeah, I wouldn't want to do it just alone and start over, I think. I have too many ties to people that I care about. And it would be, you know, although it'd be cool to hang out with your kids while they get old too. So that's interesting. That's an interesting philosophical question. Wow. Someone actually thought a question out today. Okay, I'm just kidding. Select Boy asks, have you heard of the Finnish woman that got deported by ICE for throwing coffee on someone walking their dog? No, but you know what? It's about time they started deporting white people. Sorry, guys. Anyway. Lord Stanhope, is that all? Nope. Ms. Wildwolf, have you seen... Okay, no more questions. I was almost done. And now I gotta go. Have you seen Cam's video against the mayor of Dearborn? No, but I'll put in the links today. There, it is now... It's now in the links videos. Is it Cam Higbee or Cam? Oh, yes, I did. We played it yesterday. We did this yesterday. We did Cam. He was, oh my God. I haven't seen the whole thing. I saw the part that we saw yesterday, though, where he went off. I mean, it's like kind of crazy. Okay, where are we at here? I got to get done. Avocado Diablo. Okay, this is lightning round now. I want this to go away. I want this to go away. Okay, there we go. Lightning round with the last few questions. If you walked tomorrow and found trees really, really sexy and had an urge to make sweet, sweet love to one, what type of tree do you think you'd be the most attractive to? I don't know. That's kind of weird. And, Cam, well, no, it's in the links today. Oh, Cam Higbee. I did not see it, but now it's in the links. I'll watch it later and you guys can watch it too. What type most attracted to? Probably whatever tree whose leaves turn red in the fall, because you know me and my redheads. Like a red maple or some shit like that. Yeah. Oh baby. Okay, that was weird. Avocado Salby, do you think deep frying Oreos in camel hump fat increases or decreases the risk of diabetes? Yeah, you're still getting diabetes from them Oreos. And I've never heard of camel hump fat, but damn, is that like poly-non-saturated fat? Avocado Stalby, if you could build your own basketball team with reanimated members of the Apollo space program, who would be the best power forward? That is a position, right? Very good. I know nothing about the sport. LOL. It'd have to be that one brother that was on the space shuttle, because, you know, brothers in basketball. Avocado Staley asks, if you're going to write the next great American novel about a family being chased by a giant monster made out of appetizers, which one would it be, and how would they defeat it other than eating it? Well, certainly it would be deep fried pot stickers. the deep fried pot sticker monster, and they would kill it by stabbing it with chopsticks. Avocado Diablo, how late are you? Well, I'm only 1 minute late right now, so this is the last question. By the way, that wasn't it, but this is the last question on today's Friday Q&A. Thank you, Avocado Diablo, and everyone who put out questions today. The last question of the day is from Avocado Diablo. What kind of crazy shit would you need to build up enough bad karma to reincarnate as a mop in a sex shop or glory hole? You mean a glory hole sex shop? Let's get it right. Not that I know anything about that. I really don't. That's just because the whole glory hole concept freaks me the fuck out. That freaks me the fuck out. Who would want to do that? You have no idea what you're getting and what you're catching. Sorry, ain't doing it. But the answer would be killing grandma with a box of Nutter Butters. That would definitely be bad karma to reincarnate as a mop in a sex shop glory hole. That's it. All right. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for and I say that very loosely. Thank you for enjoying or joining in on Friday Q&A. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I gotta go. No more preliminary shit. I'm gonna put the links in the chat and let's get the world distracting me. I already did this. I got rid of these. Okay, let's put the links in the chat. Also, thank you, Miss Wildwolf, for the Cam Higby video. I'm putting that in the links today. Him talking to the Dearborn City Council the same day that other dude did. I'm gonna watch it later. I hope you do too. Here we go. As soon as this pops up, I'll drop these links and then I gotta get the fuck out of here. It's taking a while, but I hope you all have a fantastic fucking day, everybody. And here's that. And here's share the page. God, this takes so long. My computer needs something. All right, here are the links. The thing that says links, that's it. They'll be in the description. Gotta go. Thanks. My name is PDawgKnight. Have a great weekend. I am the fuck out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.